My name is Emmy Liederman, and I'm the editor-in-chief of The Signal, and this is Rich Miller, and we're here with Keke Palmer. So, Keke, I first wanted to ask you, most of us remember you as college students growing up watching True Jackson VP, and I just wanted to ask, what was your favorite part about filming that show, and maybe what were some challenges that it brought?
I think my favorite part about filming that show was just like I grew up watching Nickelodeon, you know what I mean? All that, Kenan and Kel, all that stuff. And so to actually have a show on there and just get to create every day and have fun, comedy, it's always exciting to be able to improv or ad lib and just create this character. I mean, I'm very passionate about acting and entertainment, so that was by far the best part. The challenges would just be, of course, working at a high level as a kid. When you usually would just go to school and maybe do some sports. It was kind of like a heavy load, to work that often and for those long hours. And then aside from that, not getting to like really have an quote-unquote normal childhood or just hanging out with friends and kind of having to prioritize my career at such a young age. Those were challenging. And in popularity, kind of the fame concept and like how that affected how I interacted with other people my age. So that was tough. But, I mean, overall, I just love being able to, of course, be in people's memories from childhood. That's the coolest thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, just a quick story for me. I won vice president in high school, and I bopped to the song. I was like, "I'm True Jackson VP." Like, I loved it. Like, that's always my bop. But
Oh my gosh, yes.
it really is on brand for me. So my question is, I mean, you also did these iconic films, Akilah and the Bee,
Oh my
Jump.
gosh.
I mean, we loved them all. How do you feel like you've grown as a performer through all that?
Oh, such a good question. I think through life, really, because you get more depth as you experience stuff. As a kid, there's only so much that you can either like imagine that you've gone through or you've actually gone through. So I think there's been more depth created through my characters and also the content that I want to create and where it stems from. Because now it stems from a lot of more like actual experiences that I've had, whether it be love, friendship, loss, etc. So I just think there's a lot more depth in history of understanding for myself that brings more value to the characters that I play.
Yeah, and we've seen you do so many things. I mean, actor, singing. I mean, the music is iconic. Like, I don't know if people know that, but it's good stuff. It is. That's my buzz. That
First
is
of all,
my buzz.
I need you to know I'm living for you in every way. You give me so much life.
Okay, so, but your newest thing, Strahan, Sarah, and Keke. I
Yeah.
love those two. I love when they added you. It was amazing. How is that kind of like because it's in transition for what you're doing?
For sure. For me, the hosting thing or wanting to be a host or just be in that kind of world, it started at like when I was 18. I was on Twitter and Instagram, and I really saw the engagement of my audience. It was like, okay, we need a platform in a place that we could talk about what we want to talk about and where we're coming from. I always felt like, when people would be talking in on those platforms, it would be people that were older than us and not really someone that was that we could really connect to. And so I started that process at 18. I did my own talk show, Just Keke, for a while, and then did a bunch of guest hostings on different things and slowly kind of like building what would become, my opportunity on Strahan, Sarah, and Keke. So for me now, it's like, okay, now like I have this great platform and it's a great network. I love ABC and the opportunities they allow me to do. And it's just like, okay, this is cool, the way that it's evolved, and I'm just enjoying it and wanting to always make sure that I'm bringing my best to the table for sure.
That's awesome.
So I also wanted to ask you, throughout your career, beginning when you were younger, was there ever a specific moment where you really felt like you achieved your goals and realized that this was something you wanted to do for the rest of your life?
I think I knew this was something I wanted to do for the rest of my life, right after I did Barbershop 2, which was like my first thing ever. I was 9. And before then I knew I'd like to entertain, but of course, I couldn't see what like that would look like as an actual real life hobby. It was hard to kind of conceptualize that in the same way that I would being a basketball player and going to a basketball game. I'm like, what would this look like? And so when I did Barbershop 2, I was like, oh, this is what it looks like. It looks like going on auditions and doing movies and, going and meeting people and performing. And so at that point, I knew, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I think the moment that I knew that like I was in the groove of it, or of it being a career, I think I probably would acknowledge it as a career when I started doing True Jackson VP.
Right.
My life changed quite a bit after that.
And what challenges would you say you have faced? Obviously, you're here sponsored by the Black Student Union as a Black female in Hollywood.
Yes.
And what changes have you seen in the diversity of Hollywood, or what work do you think still needs to be done?
I think I've definitely seen changes in diversity when it comes to people behind the screens creating the film. I think that films and television shows, etc. Because I think that's been one of the big problems in the past is that, you know, when it comes to representation, even if you have people of color in the movies, it's like, what about the people of color behind making the movie, the grips, the, you know, the sound engineers, the director, the writers. So that's the changes that I've seen coming forward. Of course, there's more changes that can come, but those are the changes that I feel like I have seen is from when I was a kid till now. And then if I were to talk about some of my challenges, I mean, you know, being put into a box. I think we all, in whatever people look at us, you know, at face value, they have an idea. You as a blonde, you as a male, me as a black woman. And so those are the challenges that I face. Whatever people thought of a black girl or a black woman, what that should be, and how I wanted to change that dynamic or enhance it and actually bring real depth to it, those were the challenges. But my mom always raised me to just be 100% authentically myself, and don't allow ignorance to deter me or change me or put hate into my heart. Just keep pushing forward and staying true to my message. Okay?
Yeah.
There we go.
I don't know how much we have time, but I love authentically yourself because that's my own life motto.
You know what I mean?
Authentically me. My question is, what can we expect next from Keke Palmer?
Oh my gosh, you know, I can't drop any
I
boom
know.
bombs, but definitely more in the hosting field. I really enjoy that so
We
much.
enjoy it.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's so much fun because
Yeah.
it's like I love playing characters, but my favorite character to play is Keke. So I love that. Definitely more in that field. Definitely more music and comedy. That's kind of like those are big in the forefront of my mind, especially when it comes to like films, you know, comedy films. Like after I just did Hustler, I had so much fun on that movie. And so just doing movies that are like fun and you know, we can go to the movies and laugh because I think so much of what's going on in the world right now can be a big negative weight. So I think for me, I really want to give people joy and enjoyment and positivity. So, you know, maybe some romantic comedies and things of that sort. That's definitely something I'm excited about developing.
I love it. I love it.
And you mentioned your mom before. Would you say that she's your biggest inspiration when it comes to pursuing your career, or is there someone in the media previously that's inspired you?
A lot of people in the media have inspired me, of course, but I would say my mom is definitely like a huge inspiration of mine. Just because, I mean, we share the same passion, so she understands me from that point of view, and obviously as my mother, she's sacrificed so much for me.
Yeah.
You know, so she's definitely a big source of inspiration for me, and just how much we've created with one another, it brings me so much joy. But then also just my generation's a big inspiration for me. You know, like all the things that we create, learning from each other, the social media, seeing, I can look on somebody's page like, oh my gosh, boom, I got an idea. I was watching Love Island the other day and came up with a song. Great show.
Oh, yes.
Honey, the tea is scolding me. So good. But yeah, so I'm just like, anything that's going on in our world, it inspires me. I love that you get that too. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Inspirations everywhere, even on Love Island. So
Even on Love Island, a salacious reality show.
yes, yes. So what's next? Are you going to be starring in the next season of Love Island?
Oh my
is
gosh,
that
could you
is that your way of telling the fans?
Could you imagine if you guys see me on Love Island? No. Just tell me, Keke, no.
Something happened.
Okay,
we
something
should, we should
happened.
reach out and make sure you're okay.
Hi. Cut flash. I'm on Love Island. That would be absolutely hilarious. Sorry.
Yes.